I will admit, this is a very, very strange place to start a vlog. But just know that I had some leftover chicken, which I just shredded and put into a can of like tomato soup with some Parmesan. This is such a good fall breakfast. Wow. It's lunchtime. It's almost 2 p.m. I am going to read a little bit, but I've got to finish up my work day. But just want to let you know, this soup, banging. All right, if you watched my winter arc reset, you know that one of my goals is to spend a little bit more time outside. Weather is actually perfect for that right now because it's about low 70s, so it's cool enough to wear a sweater. But I want to update you on the first book that I'm listening to on my little walk for this video, and that is Love and Other Conspiracy Theories, a book that I was very much looking forward to, and I still am really enjoying it, but it makes me laugh so much because she works for the equivalent of BuzzFeed, and when I said, it's BuzzFeed Unsolved, I was kidding, but perhaps the author was not. So I'm really excited to see where it goes, and I already really love the audiobook for it, and our hero is just so fantastic, and our heroine, I really look forward to getting to know her. She doesn't believe in aliens though, and I'm going to purposely insert a picture here from NASA. You are smaller than a speck of dust. You are a 1/1,000,000th of a speck of dust in the entire universe. Of course, other life forms exist. So that, I'm gonna like it. I'm like, how could you not believe in aliens? Like, the fuck do you mean? You know how big our universe is? Like, how could you not believe in aliens? That's crazy. Don't think you can hear me, but it is such a good day for the beach because it's still warm and you can definitely feel the heat from the sun, but as you can see, it's also windy and the wind is like very refreshing. I actually spent all fucking week doing my homework and I was almost done with it, and I was like, cool, I'll finish it when I'm in Miami. You know what I didn't think about? I was doing it on my desktop, and I did not bother to transfer it in any way whatsoever, and I only have my laptop with me, so I had to start the whole assignment over. Yeah, well, Taylor is in 4 hours. I'm heading over to the stadium, so I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this really lovely beach day here on Miami Beach, and I'll give you an update when I have more thoughts on Haunted Ever After. The actual reading portion of this and some coloring. I think I want scary picture. And maybe I want these flowers to be like, I don't know, a dark purple. So I've already mentioned that the drive is long. From like where I live to Miami, it's very long. And of course, I was listening to an audiobook and listening to Taylor Swift as I was doing that. So many times I almost cried just thinking about the fact that I was at the Eras tour. However, listening to Love and Other Conspiracies, and oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I joke that it's like what started as BuzzFeed Unsolved and then eventually moved on to Ghost Files. It's kind of like inspired by that. I don't think so, but the whole dynamic of the skeptic and the believer is so fun to witness. And I really love the relationship between our hero and our heroine. And I've already said this before. I love when romance stories have a little bit more depth and complexity to them. And this story definitely does have that. So I want to warn you that our heroine has left a very emotionally manipulative and abusive relationship with a man who is a narcissist. And unfortunately, he's also kind of like the golden boy at the company that she works at. And he has taken every opportunity that he can to tear her down because, again, he's a narcissist. And our hero, he has this really fun, interesting backstory of how he got into conspiracy theories, which I won't spoil for you, but I will warn you, just in case it's something that you're sensitive to, that his father did pass. So there is conversations about a deceased loved one. But I really love their relationship dynamics. And I mentioned in an earlier clip, which I hopefully have not deleted because I did run out of storage at the Eras tour. I was taking 4K videos. Like, there for me. I needed the high quality video because that concert was fucking expensive. Also, what I really love though is that the author is doing a lot of research via our hero, and it feels like a love letter to people like me who love ghost videos and like ghost hunting and these kind of YouTube channels who do that. I can't say for sure if the author is, but she very much is speaking to people like that via our hero, which is so much fun. And something that I am really loving is that they're going to like real life locations that if you are someone who watches ghost hunting videos, you definitely would have seen. So places like the Queen Mary or the Roosevelt Hotel or the Winchester Mystery House. All of that is just so much fun with that context because I can picture it. I can picture the locations they're going to. It makes sense why they're there and then how they do their investigations. It's just funny. Like, their dynamic is so funny and I really love them. Now, they are getting to the point now where they've acknowledged that they have feelings for each other, but obviously it's a very messy dynamic where they can't really get into a relationship, especially our heroine, who's very wary of doing this because her first relationship ever was with the golden boy of the company who still works there, and she had the experience that she had with him. 3 years of really a lot of emotional manipulation and abuse, and just, it was horrible. And she, in many ways, like, he badmouthed her and made sure that she had a miserable time at this company, and though she still works there, it makes her hesitant, understandably, to enter any kind of relationship with someone that she works with. I'm of two minds. I don't know if I'm 100% rooting for them to get together, but I'm also not rooting for them. I think I just need more of their interactions. Like, I'm loving their ghost hunting scenes, but if I had any criticism of the book, is that it's having this little bit of symptom where it's like flashes. Like, we're getting these moments where they're interacting via their show, and that's a lot of fun, but I want more of that one-on-one because at times the intimacy between them does feel forced and a little bit inauthentic, but not 100% of the time, which is why it's not like a harsh criticism for me. It's just kind of me thinking out loud about why certain elements are making it so that I'm not like absolutely screaming, crying, throwing up, waiting for these two people to get together. But I am really loving it, and I do think it has strong 4.5 to 5-star potential depending on where it goes. The audiobook is also mixed media, which I'm loving so much. You actually get to hear parts of like the webinar as if it's been produced, so you're listening to the episode as if you were a viewer of the episode, because obviously there's no visuals, it's an audiobook. So it's a lot of fun. I am really enjoying it. And even if it ends up going somewhere that makes it a lower rating for me and not a perfect 5-star, I still think it's a romance book that I would recommend. And as I was reading this, just like a little yappy tidbit here, I was obviously on my road trip, as I mentioned, and I got to the part where they were talking about like preparing for the Bigfoot hunt. Caretaking. There's a caretaking scene in here. There's a only one bed scene in here, but the only one bed is in a haunted space. So it's a lot of fun. But as I was doing that, a truck like passed me, and the truck had a Bigfoot sticker. It just made me laugh so much. But to be clear with you, besties, I don't actually believe in these conspiracies. I just think they're funny. Like, I find a lot of hilarity in them. And our heroine is also so funny because she's a skeptic, because she worries about what happens if she even starts to believe one. Will she end up with a tinfoil hat? I'm like, nah, girl, you can just consume the media and laugh and giggle and not necessarily believe in these things if you don't want to. Having fun times. I will update you when I finish that. And of course, you've already seen the clips of me at the Eras tour. When will I wash these freckles off of my face? I don't know. Besties, this is not a drill. Why do my teeth look green? What the fuck? Anyway, if you saw my last vlog, you'll know I got it. I got it. This one and the chocolate flavor. And I just got those two. I didn't get too many because they only last 8 weeks. But I want to go home because they can't sit in the heat to buy. But I'm about to try the coconut cult yogurt, which is a probiotic yogurt. It's literally alive. You can see where it's bulging a little bit. And you're only supposed to have like 2 teaspoons of this max. This much. That's going to be what I'm going to have, because it doesn't say that anywhere on there. I just know that from word of mouth, and I feel like they should put that on the label, because this isn't just yogurt. If you ate the whole thing, I think you would hurt yourself, honestly. It's not awful. Imagine you had chocolate pudding, but you added in seltzer and apple cider vinegar. That's what that's like. But I've got to get back to doing some work, so I'll see you all for my updates on love and other conspiracy theories. Good morning. I slept in. I'm gonna admit to you, I've been really bad about that, so I'm just adjusting my schedule, because what I find is I don't have to be awake at a certain time, so sometimes I just sleep through the alarm, which is a very, very bad habit that I am going to work on breaking. And yes, I still am wearing glitter freckles. I've washed my face multiple times already, because you all know I wash my face twice a day. She's still there. She is still there. There is like a special wipe that I have to find to take them off, but just know my face is clean. I want to tell you that no matter what time I wake up, my morning routine is the same. Like, it is always the same. The only thing that's changed is the time. I had like half a can left of pumpkin puree from when I made pumpkin bagels. So I decided to make pumpkin protein pancakes. So good. And I think there's about 20 grams of protein between the two of them. So about 10 grams of protein each. So I'm going to finish my breakfast. It's leg day, so we're going to go to the gym. And then I'll see you when I get home, where hopefully I'll be finishing Love and Other Conspiracy Theories. We've gotten to the point now where I'm still really enjoying the story, but they're at this conference, and my brain immediately said, don't know why. Like, I lost interest in that one section, but also I'm nervous because it's a romance novel. So I know the third act conflict is coming. And I'm like, please, I'm tired of hearing about this narcissistic man. I don't want to hear from him again. And I'm scared of how this is going to blow up. It's a romance novel, so I know something's going to blow up. And I don't like that. It's happening. I'm so excited and literally laughing my ass off. They're hunting them off, man. You know the statue. You know the statue. And Hallie is looking at it like, God damn. This guy loves leg day. Look at that ass. I'm telling you, this author is literally just like writing a love letter to people who love this kind of shit, but also Cade is part of the Newbie Brothers, and FYI, the Newbie Brothers are pretty much the fictional equivalent of the Try Guys. Like, that's what's going on. While I would just go home and do work as I normally do, I mentioned in my previous video that I don't really know how to operate unless I'm super busy, and I want to make more intentional time to relax and do things that aren't work. So I am going to go to Disney World. Let's go to Animal Kingdom. I can have fun. I am at Animal Kingdom. I'll show you the Tree of Life in a moment. But yesterday I did finish. Can you even hear me? That's a good question. All right, you're gonna have to trust me. Behind me is a Tree of Life. But I finished Love and Other Conspiracies yesterday, and I really loved it. I'm giving it like a solid 4.25 to 4.5 star. It was so much fun. In my opinion, really hasn't changed that much. The only thing is I can't give it a 5 star because I feel like I wanted more of them actively doing the weird shit that they were doing that I love. Like, I wanted more time at the Roosevelt Hotel and the Queen Mary and like hunting the Mothman and Bigfoot. I feel like that would have been fun, and I really wanted more of the interactions between our hero and our heroine. But this is still a book that I loved and would highly recommend. I'm going to finish Haunted Ever After for this vlog, but let's hang out at Animal Kingdom. turns out I'm a liar. Was I relaxing? Yes. I'm in Animal Kingdom. It's a pretty chill park. I was relaxing. I love animals. Was I also working? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a video project due for one of my homework assignments, and I filmed the whole thing here. Yep. Just finished an entire homework assignment because I don't know how to fucking relax. But I'm gonna try. That's the last thing I need to do here. So maybe we'll go on Expedition Everest and we'll ride that dinosaur ride that I love. And then we'll go home. And hopefully that relaxation had been had. If there was ever a time for me to record riding Expedition Everest, it'd be this video. I saw the Yeti. I'm sorry that Kaden and Hallie did not. Maybe they should have come to Disney World. Through the trees. And all the screaming is Mount Everest. Let's go dinosaurs. I will try to take you on this ride this time. I don't think you could actually see anything. I completely forgot how dark and bouncy that ride is. Like, I could barely hold on to my glasses, let alone my phone. And this brings us to the end of our day. I am finally riding a Flight of Passage, that Avatar ride, which I've heard is amazing. But in the height of like summer, the wait is over 2 hours. So 45 minutes isn't that bad. I thought it was very fun. I understand how it works, but even like seeing the 3D/4D element of it was just cool. I've never seen Avatar though, so I'm gonna be honest. Did I care? No. Was I still impressed? Yes. Fun times. But that does bring us to the close of our little Animal Kingdom day. So I'll see you at home. Editing a video and watching the World's Wildest podcast, which I really love. And if you're ever curious about like what kind of shit I listen to, it's this, because I love animals and I love learning about conservation. And hearing the story about pigeons just makes me really sad. The way humans actually just turned their back on pigeons. Horrible. But also learning the history of why people think pigeons are like dirty and gross. Also horrible, because apparently it has some of its origins in this article the New York Times published in the early 1900s linking two deaths to pigeons and claiming that they're spreading disease. And then it was later discredited, but it was too fucking late. And it reminds me of Jaws, which I've never seen and I refuse to see because of the horrific amounts of harm that has come to sharks because of that. The perceptions that people have of sharks as being aggressive and violent and dangerous, and how humans have killed so many fucking sharks, way more than sharks have ever killed or attacked human beings, upsets me. It upsets me so much so that I had to go on a little rant with you all Leave the pigeons alone. Leave the vultures alone. Leave the sharks alone. I won't go on a tangent about vultures, but vultures are really fucking important. Really important. Trust me on that. And another thing. Did you know that mosquitoes were pollinators? Did you know that there were over 3,500 species of mosquitoes? Did you know that only like this much actually feast on any kind of human blood? And then when a mosquito bites you and drinks your blood, it's a pregnant female. And they only ever do that when they want to like lay their little larva egg babies. I had no idea mosquitoes were pollinators. Now, mosquitoes do spread disease, that's a fact. But it's only a small portion of the entire mosquito population that does spread disease. But in case you ever wondered, why do we even have mosquitoes? They're a vital food source to huge amounts of our ecosystem and things like frogs, birds, bats, all those creatures, and they're pollinators. Most male mosquitoes are eating nectar. That's their food source. Good morning, besties. It is time to vote. I'm voting early, but it is so important that you vote anytime, but in the elections. And also I want to say that vote.org has really great resources. If you're not sure what's on the ballot or this is your first time voting, you want to make sure that you check that out. And I also want to say that a simple Google search will tell you a lot about what is on the ballot. It is so much more than who will be the president. Of course, that is super important. And voting is done. That was really easy. Everyone was incredibly nice. And I really just want to emphasize this because the first time I voted when I was 18, I was just really nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what ballots looked like. And I felt like if I did something wrong, I would go to jail. Check your laws because you've got to make sure you're voting in the place you're registered for and not anywhere else. And I don't just mean the state you're registered for. You've got to find your polling location or your early voting locations. I just want to emphasize there's so many resources out there available to you if you want to find more information about how to vote and what's on your ballot and if you're registered to vote and where your voting location is. All of that information is on voting.org if you want to check it out. And if you are where I was when I was 18 years old and voting for the first time, I really recommend those resources. I still use them now to this day because, of course, I moved and different things are on different ballots on different states. That's all I'm going to say about voting. With that said, I'm going to my goals because I'm going to get a Jelly Roll pen. Good morning. I will get back to reading in this video, I promise. But I just want to talk about something while I wait for my breakfast to cool. It's 8 a.m. I've been waking up later for the past week or so. And I said before in like my 5:30 a.m. morning routine that the only reason I was up that early was because I had to be up that early, right? I was up that early for work because I work at 7 a.m. Now I'm a student. And being a student means that I don't have to be up that early if I don't want to be. And I am also actively pursuing marketing-based jobs at the moment. I'm feeling so many complicated feelings about waking up later. And I don't think it's the fact that I'm waking up later that's annoying me. It's that I'm sleeping too much because my nighttime routine is still the same. So I usually go to bed around 9 o'clock, although recently it's been later and later. And acknowledging like that is my natural circadian rhythm. About 11 p.m. to 8:30 a.m. is naturally when I would wake up. And I know that because for the past couple of years, that's what I've been doing. But what's more annoying me is like feeling like I'm slipping in my routine. And I feel like the reason why I'm not able to get up earlier, even though I definitely have had plenty of sleep, is I don't have a strong enough motivation to get up. And I know that sounds weird and perhaps depressing, but I don't mean that in a depressing way. I mean that I really need to rethink my morning routine and think about what is it that's going to pull me out of bed? What am I going to be most excited to do? What do I only do in the mornings and not any other time of day? So that when my alarm goes off in the morning, I don't just get up, walk across the room, turn it off, and go back to sleep, which is what I have been doing. And also, I don't want to do the things that I've been doing, like making my bed, and I've been getting sloppy with cleaning my house. And I say that to not criticize myself, but to say that we all go through slumps and progress is not linear. There are hills and valleys. And I think I've entered a valley at this point, which is for me to now recommit to that vision that I have and accept how much structure has helped me, because without the strict structure that I set for myself, even for the past 3 days or so, I just feel kind of lazy. And I'm not saying you need to be productive 24/7, because that's not true at all, but I worked really hard to set that structure for myself. And when I skip things like making my bed or washing my hair or making sure that I am putting myself together every single day, it makes me feel like every day is the same, and that kind of monotony is something that I try to stay away. And the final thing I'm gonna say for this little yappy clip, because now my breakfast is cool enough to eat, is the consequence of not doing this is losing the discipline that I've been working for several months to build. And I think that's a strong enough consequence to make it so that I am going to try to rethink what about my routine isn't working, that's making me want to stay in bed later in the mornings, and that's making the idea of doing things that I know I love less exciting. Building this discipline took a long time, and it really relied heavily on my habits, my routine, my mindset, and how I viewed myself. And I'm not gonna get to fucking December and break that. Like, no, I've been working on this since July. So we're gonna sit down, we're gonna reevaluate, and we're gonna figure out what the heck is making me not want to get up in bed, and what about my routine is no longer exciting for me, so that I can fix it and get back into it. But I'm going to eat my breakfast now. And in case you're wondering, it's beans on toast, because I'm going to use everything in my fridge before I go grocery shopping again. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm too hard on myself, because I've maybe messed up on like 15% of my routine, but most of it is exactly the same. It's just, it's later in the day than it normally is. Like, I still go to the gym 6 times a week. Like, I still do that. And I still do my full workout split. But I want to say, why have I been doing arm workouts? Literally arm and back for the past 5 months, 4 months, something like that. And still, the hardest workout I do is doing my hair. Keeping your hand up and doing this, why does that hurt so fucking bad? Like, bitch, I throw around weights. I do weight training multiple times a week, and still this, horrific. Also, you can kind of see that the shoulder boulder is coming in. You're like, Shar, you're delusional. But look, girl, I see it. I see it, and I see the start of the bicep over here. Now, today is Wednesday, which is normally just leg day, but my niece is turning 6 years old on Friday. Yes, she was almost a Halloween baby. Her birthday is November 1st, and I really want to try to get to New York to celebrate with her and give her her presents, which means I'm going to modify today's workout split to be anything that requires use of machine. So we're going to do back and legs, because anything that requires just dumbbells, I can do back in my mom's house in New York. So I'm gonna do my workout split, and then I'll see you later on today. In case you're wondering, she still don't taste good. She still do not taste good. And it's been about 2 weeks. I can't say that I've noticed any major difference in how my gut feels, but you can't try anything for 2 weeks and say, oh, it didn't work. You've got to give it time. So let me take this. The sour taste is fucking crazy. That's that. I'm still bloated as ever, but we'll give her a minute to work. couldn't tell, I hate having to change the sheets, but I do it regularly, and so should you. So new set, laundry is going in the background, showered, skincare, all that stuff done, ran errands. I'm about to sit down and have my lunch, which is just spinach, feta, tomatoes, ranch, and chicken, because you all know my goal is to eat more vegetables, and I was doing really, really badly at that before. So having just one veggie packed meal is me making progress towards my goal. But I'm about to sit down and just kind of balance my budget, because managing my finance more appropriately is also one of my goals for my quote unquote winter arc. So I want to make sure I sit down and I review everything, and that also means looking at my credit card statements and not just my bank statements. So I'm going to work on that, and then the next time you'll see me, we'll be talking about Haunted Ever After, which I'm still really enjoying so far. It is time for bed. It is Halloween, and I just want to let you know this is fucking weird for me, because I actually have you on a mini tripod and I have my Rode microphone hooked up to you, which I normally only use for standing videos. But I posted my Halloween vlog and the audio pissed me off, like sent me into a straight anxiety spiral. I was so fucking mad. But I'm going to finish Haunted Ever After by Jen DeLuca. I think it's covered up by the library sticker, and I'm going to see you tomorrow with my updates. Right now I'm pretty early into the story, but it's not super long. But as you already know, I am really enjoying it thus far. I also have an essay to write tomorrow, and just generally lots of work to do, as well as edit the video that you're watching right now, which hopefully went up on Sunday. I know the audio quality throughout this vlog is also going to be a little bit inconsistent, because I only just figured out how to use my Rode mic in a vlogging format. So please bear with me. Thank you so much, and I'm going to see you in the morning. But for now, it is time to read. All right, I am on page 214, I think, chapter 23 of Haunted Ever After, and I want to give you my updates. I'm still really enjoying it. I'm liking the cozy atmosphere that we have here with this haunted town, where everyone just kind of believes in ghosts. And I like that the storyline is not trying to get our heroine from skeptic to believer, but more to figure out what is going on with her house. And in this world, specifically in this town, ghosts are just fact. Like, they could speak to you like anyone else. But we had this point of tension and conflict in the story about, I don't know, 60 pages or so ago, right after the 100-page mark, where our hero, what's his name? Nick, says some crazy ass fucking shit. Like literally crazy ass fucking shit. Think along the lines of saying women don't belong in the workplace and their only job is to have babies and stay at home, and that Cassie, our heroine, is actually really selfish for not considering that. That's what he said. And I know the context of like why he said it. Remember, it's a ghost story. Those actually aren't his beliefs, and mild spoiler here, he's very much possessed, and the characters are so oblivious to the fact that Cassie's house is doubly haunted. There are two spirits there, but they don't recognize the second spirit. I'm like, you don't recognize the malevolent presence in the home? And I'm just like, okay. But I bring that up to say, I know it wasn't Nick who said that. I know it just came out his mouth, but it still came out his mouth anyway. And I immediately disliked him. And also, he describes himself as kind of a fuckboy, honestly, and he says he's been hurt in the past, which he has been, and I'm not discrediting that in any way. But he says he's only looking for like situationships, and that he's never done exclusive relationships, even though that's not how he feels. But Cassie is like this badass advertising exec who just bought her own house, literally killing the game. So like, why should she forgive this man? Like, I want to like him, and I know it was the ghost who possessed him, but still, ick. But I'm going to finish this book. I literally have like 100 or so pages left, but I'm not going to finish it until tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow with my final updates for this video. Okay, we've come to the end of this video after many weeks. I'm kidding, it's been like 2 weeks. I did finally finish Haunted Ever After by Jen DeLuca, and I really loved this. I thought that it was so sweet, and because I'm someone who loves like haunted house stories and romance, this obviously worked very well for me. What to say is that the hero, Nick, is not my favorite hero. There's nothing like wrong with him. He was just throwing some orange flags that I was perhaps not into. But I can admit that perhaps I'm being overly critical of him. But I will tell you, he called the ghost a bitch. It's like, no, sir. You don't get to use that word. No. And I don't know. I just am not obsessed with him. I'm glad that they're happy together, but ultimately, if I would say there's any aspect of this story that didn't work for me, it's just that Nick isn't my favorite hero of all time. But please don't take that to mean that he's a bad hero. I'm just picky. But this was a fun time. I'm so glad I read it. I really loved Sarah and Elmer, who are the ghosts in this story. And I am very excited and hope that there will be a sequel with Sophie and Theo, because Sophie is the woman who leads the ghost tours in Boneyard Key, and Theo is the local bookstore owner / historian, and it's a grumpy sunshine dynamic. And I think Jen DeLuca was setting up a sequel with them, but I want to hear more about them. And then we also have Libby and Ramon, I think. And Libby is the granddaughter of like the town's local ghost investigator / exorcist person, and Ramon is the chef at Nick's like diner. So I would definitely continue with the series. I thought this was such a good time. I really like the writing. It is a solid 4-star read from me. But with that said, besties, that does officially bring us to the end of this vlog where I was reading some cozy fall romances. I hope that you did enjoy this video, and I am going to see you in my next one. Bye!